Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited to show you how to make this really cute dried floral macrame hanger. Still kind of working on the name there, but I think it's really cute, and I also think it would make a really cute utensil holder. And if you didn't already know, I recently just got engaged, so you'll be seeing my lovely ring in my tutorials from now on. This ring was my great-grandmother's engagement ring, and it's been in the family for about 100 years, so I'm super happy that it's now on my finger. So you'll need some 3mm macrame cord. I'm using the one that I sell on my Etsy shop. Tape measure. You'll need some scissors. I also sell these on my Etsy shop, and they come in a lovely matte black as well, and they're so sharp it's ridiculous, but they're also really cute for photos. You'll need 2 lots of 300cm and 2 lots of 220cm lengths of cord, and this is to create the hanging loop at the top of the little pouch. You need 4 lots of 200cm lengths, 2 lots of 190cm lengths, 2 lots of 180cm, 2 160cm lengths, 2 150cm lengths, 2 140cm and 2 130cm lengths, and lastly 1 lot of 50cm lengths for the wrapping knot. So grab your 2 lots of 300 and 2 lots of 200cm lengths and attach them to whatever you're going to use just to make this. And make sure that the 2 lots of 300cm lengths of cord are on the outside and your 2 220cm are in the middle. So measure out 5cm above the middle mark of your cords and then have that at the top, because that's where we're going to start our square knots. So take the last cord over the middle 2 like this. And the first one will go in front of that one, behind the middle 2 cords and through this loop here. I'm not touching any of the cords at the back, we're not using those, just like that, and move that to the top. And then we're going to take the first over the middle 2 and behind the fourth. Fourth will go in front of that one, behind the middle 2 and through that loop there, and just pull that to tighten it, and that is 1 square knot. So we're just going to repeat that the exact same way as that to create a second square knot. So it's super easy once you get the hang of it, and it's one of the most basic macrame knots that you can learn, and you can make so many things using it, so it's very useful to know. And keep repeating that until you have 10 square knots in total. And it should look something like this. So I've got 10 square knots here, so now we can take this off of the bar and we're going to join the 2 sides together. So I'm just going to bend it round like this, so you see it creates a nice flat loop at the top. And I'm just going to hook it on my hooks here. So now we're going to take the 4 middle cords and we're going to do 1 square knot just to join the 2 sides together. So it's the exact same process as we just done. And this will join the 2 sides of the cords together and create that nice handle shape. Just like this. So now we are going to create lines of double clove hitch knots. So in order to do that, just split the cords in half and tuck one side out of the way if that makes it easier for you. Take this first cord and we're going to angle it down towards the right. We're going to take the second cord, bring it up and over and behind like this. And then it's going to come from behind, it's going to come through this loop here. And then just pull that to the top to tighten it, and repeat the exact same steps on this cord to create a double clove hitch knot. So up, over, behind and through the loop. And then we're going to take the next available cord and we're going to repeat the exact same steps, making sure to do it twice with each cord until we hit that middle cord. So we've got 3 double clove hitch knots on the left. We're going to repeat the exact same on the right, so we're going to take that last cord now and angle it down towards the left. Take the next cord, bring it up, over, behind and through the loop, making sure to repeat it twice with every cord. So just keep doing that until you hit that middle cord, and then it's time to join the 2 sides together. Just like this. So now we've got these 2 middle cords that need joining together. So you can either do a double clove hitch knot going towards the right or the left. I'm going to do one going towards the right because that's just my preference. But whatever way you go towards, make sure you repeat that for the other 2 rows that we are going to do. Just like that, and now we're going to repeat the exact same steps, creating a second row on either side. Just like this, so it's the exact same as before. And then again, we're going to join the two middle cords together by doing a knot going in the exact same way as your first row. And then once more, we're going to just create a third line of double clove hitch knots, and then that's it for this knot. Now grab two of your 200cm lengths of cord, and we're going to attach them using a square knot. So you can see I've got one folded over here with the middle point at the top. I'm grabbing two of the outer cords, and we're going to use those 4 cords to create a square knot. Now it is a bit tricky doing it this way, but I promise once you get the hang of it, it will become so much more easier. But I'm just doing the exact same thing as creating a square knot. It's just a bit tricky because obviously 2 of the cords aren't attached to anything. But once you get that first knot done, it's really easy to create the knot. So now I'm going to take another 200cm length, and we're going to attach it on the left using that exact same way. So taking the 2 outer cords and the 2 cords in your hand and creating that square knot. So now we're going to leave out the 2 outer cords on each side, take the 4 next cords, so it should be 2 cords from 1 square knot, and we're going to create a square knot using those cords. So we'll create this nice downward V shape, and just repeat that on the other side. And lastly, we're going to take the 4 middle cords, which should be 2 cords from each square knot on the side, and create one last square knot. And now you can get your other 200cm lengths of cords, and we're going to do the exact same process. So attach it to the 2 outer cords using a square knot. So just repeat the exact same steps as we did before, and it should look something like this. And then we're going to complete that row of square knots that angle into that nice downward arrow shape. So just repeat that until you have finished this second row of square knots. So it may look a bit confusing, but as long as you know you need to take 2 cords from 1 square knot and then the next 2 cords available and create a new square knot, you'll be fine. And just finishing it up with one last square knot in the middle. Perfect, so you have 2 rows of square knots now. Now take 2 lots of 190cm lengths of cord, and we're going to do the exact same process. So attach it using that square knot method and create that row of square knots. And it should start to look something like this. Then take your 2 lots of 180cm and do the exact same step, finishing off that row of square knots. So you get that picture. This is what we're going to do with the rest of the cords. So next will be the 160cm, and then it will be the 150cm lengths of cords using the exact same method as before, and then completing that line of square knots within that row. So obviously the square knots will be increasing and you'll start to see this lovely shape form. And then lastly we're going to do the 2 140cm lengths and then the 2 130cm lengths, and just finish off those rows. So it should look something like this, and you should have 8 lines of square knots in total on the side here, and you should have added all of your cords except for the 150cm length. Now we are going to take the 2 outer cords on either side and we're going to flip them around. So the 2 outer cords will become the 2 middle cords, and the 2 middle cords will become the 2 outer cords. And we're going to create one square knot which will join the 2 sides together. So you can see I've just pulled it and you can start to see the shape form now. So just finish off that square knot. Just like so. And then just like before, we're going to take the 2 cords from that square knot and the 2 next cords and create a square knot, and repeat on either side. So it's much easier if you hang this up while you're making it, because you can see which cords lay next to each other. So again, taking 2 cords from 1 square knot and the next 2 cords, creating a square knot. Just going round and round and filling in all the gaps like this. So you can see I'm just moving on to the other side now, doing the exact same way, and then you just need to basically fill in the gaps. So I take the bottom square knot at the back, and you want to create all your square knots so you kind of have a nice straight line at the bottom. And you can do this for however many rows you want, depending on how long you want your hanging pouch to be. But I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the gaps just like so. So it's up to you how long you want it to be. I thought I wanted mine this long, but I decided to add a couple more rows. So from this middle square knot down, mine measured 10 centimeters if you wanted to create the exact same length as me. And I've done 13 rows of alternating square knots to create this length. So I'm just going to put my dried flowers in just to make sure that I like the length that it is. And just to show you, you could just grab some utensils, these are some really old wooden ones that I have, and pop them in just to see what it would look like. So I'm happy with this, so I'm going to finish mine now. But I've added in lengths of cord so you could create a longer one if you wanted, because the cords are there. So turn around your piece so the knot will be at the back. Grab your 50 centimeter length of cord, and you're going to grab all the cords like this. And you're going to create this little tail at the top and this loop at the bottom, and then you've got this long tail. So it should look something like this. So you've got the short tail, the loop, and the long tail. Wrap the longer tail around all of your cords quite tightly. Keep them nice and secure. Just like this. So you've still got the short tail and the loop at the bottom. And once you have finished that and done a few rows, so you've got the short tail, the loop there, and the long cord, we're going to pass the long cord through the loop at the bottom. And you can just gently hold that in place, and then if you pull on the short tail that we left at the top, you'll see the loop will start to close and it will secure that cord in place. So pull it until it's about halfway through the knot. You don't want to pull it all the way through, as that could undo your knot. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put my hand in just to smooth everything out and make it look nice and neat. Make sure I'm happy with the knot from the front, and it looked quite neat to me, so I was fine with that. So now it's time to just trim off the excess cords from that wrapping knot, and then trim the tassels at the bottom if you wanted. I trimmed mine to about 8 centimeters, but I actually wish I'd left them longer, so just do as you wish. But you can see how sharp these scissors are. They go through all of those cords, which is a lot of cords, in 2 passes. And then if you're like me and you don't like the look of freshly cut cords, just rub them between your hands a bit, and that will help fray the bottoms and make it look not so freshly cut. And that was mine complete. But don't forget, you can keep all these scrap cords and use them for other things, and I'll have my scrap cord playlist linked up above so you can check out what you can make with these, because you can make a lot of things. So you could also leave it rounded out like this, but I like to flatten mine so it looks more like a flat wall hanging pouch, if that makes sense. So you can see from the side here when I turn it, it's quite flattened. I just think that makes it look a bit nicer. And now it's time to just put in whatever you're putting in and hang it up and enjoy it. And that is it, complete. I really hope you enjoy this one. If you do recreate it, please be sure to tag me on Instagram at LunaCraftsOnline, because I'd really love to see how you create yours and what you use yours for. I really love how this turned out, and I think it looks so cute with these white dried flowers. No idea what these flowers are called, but they're really cute. And I hope you have a lovely week. Bye!